My name is Ryan, and I'm Oliver's dad.
I'm Ashley, and I'm Oliver's mom, and Oliver is July's INDY warrior. Good job! Oh! In January, it was the first week back of preschool for him, and he seemed really tired at the end of the week. We just thought, oh, it's his first week back to school, and then he had his therapies, so maybe he just needs to rest a little bit. Saturday, we went to Gigi's Playhouse, and we're at one of our programs, and he seemed really pale and kind of sick, and so we thought, oh, he's getting the flu. By Monday, we knew like something was wrong. I have two friends whose kids had cancer, had leukemia when they were little, and so I kind of knew what the signs were. And just on Sunday, I just felt like this is leukemia. So Monday, January 14th, 2019, I brought Oliver to the emergency room, and I said, I think he has the flu, but can you also run a complete blood count, a CBC? And the ER doctor kind of looked at me weird, but ran the test anyways, kind of maybe thought just to appease this mom. And so Oliver and I were in the ER together and sitting there, and I just kept thinking, like, nobody's coming to tell me it's the flu. And then they had the oncology doctor come talk to us, and he said there were some abnormalities. We need to run more tests. And then 6 hours later, we were admitted to the 7th floor with our diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Originally, we weren't sure if, she had her suspicions, but we didn't know if they say, hey, he's just not feeling well, like you'll go home in a couple hours, go to Walgreens, pick up some medicine. So I had stayed home with our youngest, just waiting for Ashley and Oliver to get back from the hospital. And then she texted me that like I need to come to the hospital and like I need to find someone to take Keith. So then I was able to drop him off at my sister-in-law's house. And then we got to the hospital, and then Ashley already knew by that point. So I went in the room, and she looked like she had been crying, and then her friend left the room, just, because the friend knew what was going to happen. And so Ashley told me, and I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know if that just meant like it was like automatic death sentence. Like, is he, what does that even mean, like timeline wise? So just learning a lot as time goes on, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn and a lot to process right away. And he started treatment 2 days later, so it was not really like any adjustment time. We were inpatient for the first 25 days of treatment, just because since Oliver has Down syndrome as well, his body's a little bit more fragile, a little bit more likely to develop illnesses anyways. So they wanted us to be inpatient for that first portion just to see how his body did. And he did pretty well, but then 26 hours after we were sent home, he ended up with the stomach flu. So we all went back to the hospital, and then all of us had the stomach flu that week. Yeah. So he spent 30 days inpatient in the beginning. And then at the end of the first month, they do another bone marrow test to see how much of the leukemia they've killed. And for us, we didn't hit the number that they needed us to be at, so we were reassigned to high risk, which changed our chemo, made it a lot more intense, a lot more chemo, a lot higher doses of chemo, and made it a lot scarier as well, because we didn't know what to expect. And it made it, in the beginning, it was the chemo's not working. But then on May 22nd, we found out that we're officially cancer-free. So with leukemia, even if you're cancer-free, you still have a long way to go, but at least it was such a huge relief and such a huge, like, deep breath I took for the first time in a really long time. It's been amazing, like, the Down syndrome community has supported us so much.
That's awesome.
and our family and friends, and like I didn't cook a meal for the first like 4 months, I think. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, he's a trooper. He's been through so much. He had pneumonia at one point and was spent 3 weeks in the hospital on oxygen. He had the virus that causes RSV, so he's having really, really high temperatures, and he's had adrenal failure, so his body stopped producing cortisol from all of the steroids he's been on. So he spent 6 days in the PICU. He was intubated and sedated, so.
Is that a monkey? We love monkeys. Is that a turtle? What's this? What's this?
Oh, cool.
Oh, come here.
Bless you.
Get him.
Whoa!
You got him. Well, bless you, Bo.
Can I try it? But we hope he loses, right?
Yep, that was Papa. And where'd you write that?
Always ripping the shirt, okay? That's all.
Don't let them know.